Hi, it's Liz at FortWhyte. Welcome to FortWhyte Alive at home. We're so excited to share this virtual programming with you while you're staying safe in your own homes. So stay tuned. Your FortWhyte Alive host is up next to guide you on your next adventure.
Well, hi. My name is Katrina Froese. I'm the Education Programs Coordinator here at FortWhyte Alive, and I'm here to talk to you about cross-country skiing. Here at FortWhyte, we have 5 kilometers of cross-country ski trails that are groomed after each snowfall by a volunteer using a snowmobile and a drag behind. The trails are flat, they're easily accessible for beginner skiers, and they're beautiful because they pass through the aspen forest and you can have encounters with deer, squirrels, and other animals along the way. So I'm going to start out with a little bit of history of cross-country skiing. Well, cross-country skis were invented in Europe and Asia, and there have been skis that have been found that have been dated as far back as 6000 BC. Initially, skis were invented for hunting purposes, so people could ski across the hard-packed snow of marshes when they were out hunting. The snow in Europe and Asia is generally a little bit more compact than the snow here in North America. So in North America, the indigenous people who were traveling in winter conditions developed snowshoes instead. So cross-country skis came across the ocean with European settlers. A particular person is often named crediting the development of cross-country skiing in Canada, and his name was Jackrabbit Johansen. So Jackrabbit Johansen was a Norwegian who spent his time developing cross-country ski trail networks in Ontario and the Laurentians, and he ended up living to be 111 years old. His name has been taken by cross-country ski clubs across Canada, and so the kids ski learning program that is taken part in by many kids in our country is called the Jackrabbit Club. So thinking about an individual with a longevity of 111, this brings me to my point that cross-country skiing is a very healthy activity, both for your physical health as well as for your mental health. So cross-country skiing is an endurance sport. You generally go out for a while, you get your heart rate up, and that is very good for your physical health. Those endurance type exercises that involve the whole body, so using all of the muscles in your arms and your core and your legs, are even more beneficial. And cross-country skiing involves the use of poles, so you're using your arms as well as your legs to get that type of a workout. Aside from that, balance is another big part of cross-country skiing. So getting competent on your skis allows you to work on your balance, which is a really important part of physical health, especially as you get older. In terms of mental health for cross-country skiing, it's credited with a lot of benefits. The main benefit is stress relief, so getting outside in nature, putting on your skis as a part of a routine can really help you to be able to cope. Your blood pressure drops, your brain activity goes slower, and generally you feel better after going for a ski. Mood boosting is another aspect because when you're exercising, your body releases endorphins, which make you feel good. So there's a number of benefits to cross-country skiing. And it's a great way to get outside in the wintertime when you're tempted to just hibernate. So cross-country skiing involves some equipment that you'll need. So for cross-country skiing, you're going to need cross-country skis, you're going to need poles, and you're going to need specialized boots for your skis. So if you're already a cross-country skier, you might have a setup already. If you're looking for something new, just a few basics that you might want to know about. So with the skis themselves, when you're picking a pair of skis, the shop or wherever you're getting them from, they're going to factor in how tall you are as well as how much you weigh. And the reason for that is because when you are skiing, there's a part of your ski stride where you're gliding just on the front side and the back side of your skis on the snow. Then when you go to push down and get some grip in the snow, and you put more weight on your skis, this middle section of the ski compresses down into the snow. The stiffness of this ski is going to be different depending on how much you weigh, and the length factors into that as well. So choosing a pair of skis is a little more complicated. I always recommend going to a local ski store, asking the professionals there because they know the best about it. If you do choose to buy used, you'll have to do a little bit more research to figure out what's going to work really well for you. So the second set of equipment that you're going to think about is poles. So poles for cross-country skiing, for classic skiing, which is what we're talking about today, you want them to come up about to your shoulder or between your armpit and your shoulder. So not too long, not too short. And you want to have a strap system that you can put your mitt in that's going to be comfortable for you. The last part of your set of equipment that's the most important is your boots. So boots are something that are particular to your shoe size, obviously, but depending on the type of skiing you're doing and the temperatures you're out in, you might want to look for boots that are a little bit warmer. The boots that I'm wearing are quite thin because they're meant for being lightweight, but that's a challenge when the temperature is a little bit colder. So look for something that's comfortable. That's the best advice that I can give. The more comfortable they are, the more likely you'll be able to go out and ski for long periods of time with them. And there's a particular system to attach the boot to the ski. So when you're getting your skis and boots, make sure you get bindings that pair them together properly. Depending on the type of skis you have, you may or may not need to wax your skis. My skis need to have grip wax applied to them every time I go skiing. There are types of skis that you can buy that have ridges underneath, or they might have tiny little hairs underneath. Those are referred to as waxless skis or skin skis. Those types of skis you don't need to apply grip wax to when you go out for a ski. You just put them on your feet and off you go. With waxable skis, you change the grip wax depending on the temperature, and you apply it, like I said, every time you go out. So for my skis, and for my stiffness of my skis, the area of my skis that I put the grip wax on is from the back of my heel to about a hand width up from my toe. This is my binding here. And depending on the temperature, I'll be using a different type of wax. So on a colder day, you're going to be using a wax that has that temperature on the label. And colder waxes are less sticky. So I'm just going to open this one up. So it's not very sticky. It's almost like a crayon. And when you're putting it on your ski, you kind of use it like a crayon. You rub it on that section of your ski. And then you've got your layer of wax. All right, afterwards, when you've applied all of that wax to your ski, you use a piece of equipment called a cork, which you're going to use to rub in the wax until the ski becomes nice and black again. The general rule is for about every half hour of skiing that you're doing, you want to add a layer of wax. So usually when I go out, I go for a little while, so I'll add 2 or maybe 3 layers of wax to my ski. Every time I add a nice thin crayon, a nice thin layer on, then I rub it in with the cork. When the temperature changes drastically, or after I've been skiing for a while, I'll need to remove that wax so I can put on other wax and not have too sticky of wax for the temperature or anything like that. So in that case, I use a scraper, and the scraper, you basically just use it to peel the wax off of your ski. Then you can put a different temperature wax on. So in warmer temperatures, as we're getting close to the melting temperature of snow, the waxes that you use are a little bit stickier. So this is a purple wax, which is meant for 0 degrees Celsius. When I apply that to my ski, it's a little bit thicker and a little bit stickier. And that's going to help to contact the snow in warmer conditions. So I will use that when it's a little bit warmer. outside. So if you're looking for these types of waxes, like I mentioned, if you go to a ski shop, they generally sell a small package that has 4 of the general temperature range waxes that you'll use, plus a cork and a scraper in a nice little kit. So that's a great way to get started. But like I mentioned, if you're looking for options where you don't have to wax your skis, they do exist too. So it's kind of up to you. So the next section of this video is going to go through some basic classic cross-country skiing techniques. So cross-country skiing is a technique-based sport. So similar to swimming or dance, it's a sport where you're constantly working on your efficiency, your balance, and your control on your skis. And that can be part of the enjoyment of the sport. So the next videos will show you how to ski on the flats as well as how to go up hills and down hills. Just a reminder to everyone out there, safety is important on cross-country skis, so make sure you don't take on a hill that's above your level. Always take a look at it first. If it's too steep for you, there's no shame in taking off your skis and carefully walking down and putting them back on again at the bottom. But being able to navigate hills isn't something you'll have to worry about at FortWhyte, but it's an important skill to learn for skiing at other places. The first technique we're going to work on with this video series is falling down. Everyone falls sometimes on cross-country skis. Try to fall on the softest part of your body. When you're going to get up again, you'll find if you try to get up from behind you with your hands, it's very difficult to do this on cross-country skis. So crawl around to the front, get on your hands and knees, get your skis lined up, and then use one foot at a time to stand up again. Once you're back on track, let's work a little bit on body position for really good balance on cross-country skis. So I'm going to demonstrate the athletic stance. In the athletic stance, you have flexed ankles, bent knees, and you're leaning a little bit forward in the torso. If you jump up and down a few times, you can really feel where the fronts and the backs of your skis are and where you have that balance point over a ski that's standing still or stationary. So now that you know where that balance point is, you can shift your weight back and forth and lift up one ski at a time. So when you're standing on one ski, focus on trying to line up your toe, your knee, and your nose over top of that ski. And try to keep the ski that you're lifting pretty level over top of the snow. So it's nice and balanced. So now we're feeling that athletic position. We're going to move on to the first technique, and this is the typical technique you think of with classic cross-country skiing. It's known as diagonal stride. You'll notice I'm swinging my arms and legs opposite each other, just like you would if you were walking, and I'm stepping forward with each foot. After my foot lands on the snow in front of me, I glide on that foot. And if you take a closer look, you'll notice that I'm only standing on one foot at one time. So I'm balancing on one foot at a time. When you are doing the diagonal stride, where you're the most balanced or where the center of your balance of your body is just ahead of your toes. So this leaning forward position is really important because it allows you to be balanced for longer on that gliding ski. You'll also notice as my knees bend and flex, that's using the grip on my skis, whether it's wax or some kind of skin or gripping part on your ski, that's pushing that down into the snow to get grip. So a good way to work on your balance on cross-country skis is to do a little bit of work without poles with diagonal strides. So you can hold the poles about halfway down the pole and then focus on trying to glide on one ski for as long as you can. It's okay if you have to put your foot down a little bit early at first. The more you work on this, the more balanced you can become. It also helps to look a little bit further ahead down the trail so that you have a point to focus on, and that helps you to stay more balanced. So keeping everything parallel to the tracks, your arms swinging back and forth. Obviously, you don't want to ski like this for your whole ski, but it's a good way to work on balance. The final technique for the flats that I'll demonstrate here is double pole. So double pole is a technique where you use both your poles at the same time to push you along the track. A lot of people think you need very strong arms for double poling, but double poling is actually a whole body movement as well. You're using your arms, your core, and your legs to transfer power into those poles and push yourself forward. Double poling is used when the snow is very fast. in quick conditions, as well as if you're just finished going down a hill and you want to go a little bit further and you just want to give yourself a little more push. Speaking of hills, if we encounter a hill on the ski trail, we may need to climb up it. So you may be able to stride up a hill, but if it becomes too steep, you'll need to transition into this technique, which is called herringboning. So with herringbone, you are using the inside edges of your skis to kind of cut into the hill, almost creating little stair steps. Keeping your ankles bent and your knees bent allows you to put power into those skis and push so that you can get yourself up to the top of the hill. To go downhill on cross-country skis, there are a couple of options. So you can go straight down the hill, or to slow yourself down, this is called a snow plow. So I'm using the inside edges of my skis to slow me down as I go down the hill. Again, bent knees, bent ankles, leaning forward, and my hands are low and wide. That helps with balance and stability. You may need to try going downhill on the flats without a track before you become comfortable with a track. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, learned a little bit about cross-country skiing, and that you feel like you're ready to get out on the cross-country ski trails this winter. I'm going to head out right now.
Thanks for tuning in and really hope you enjoyed the program. A big thank you to the province of Manitoba Safe at Home grant, which allowed us to bring you these virtual programs. Make sure you check out FortWhyte.org for a lot more programs and activities. See you again soon.